Welcome to the Healthy Leads podcast, brought to you by Ellington Digital. My name is Courtney.
And I'm Max. Super excited to kick things off.
Me too. It's going to be a great conversation here today. Before we dive into our topic, which is all about ads and how to create high conversion ads and leads, I thought we could take a moment to introduce ourselves. So, Max, do you want to kick that off?
Yeah, sure. So probably here you hear my accent. So originally I'm from Ukraine, but I moved over 10 years ago to the United States. And this is pretty much where I got my whole experience about the advertising. So I managed over $10 million in ad spend for my clients and generated over $70 million in sales. So pretty much for every dollar that I get, I bring back $7 back. So on top of that, I had my own HVAC and plumbing company that I bootstrapped here in Chicago and grew it from 0 to 5 million in revenue and sold it back in 2021. So I know pretty much how to do the advertising, how to build a business, how to grow the business. So I'm eager to share all this knowledge and expertise.
I'm so excited to have you here with us, Max. I feel like every time that we interact, I learn a little bit of just a little nugget of information, and I'm really excited to share that wealth with everyone who's watching. A little bit about me is I'm the marketing director at Ellington Digital. I've been working in marketing for just about 10 years, but I've been a designer really my entire life. I love melding branding with strategy, and that's why marketing is such a perfect field for me. I feel like the creative process really allows me to flex, that creative side of my brain and the analytical side of my brain, right? So I'm really excited to also share that knowledge and that experience with you, Max. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning more about your entire process and sharing that all with our viewers. Um,
Nice, nice.
so
I'm always also in learning mode, so that's trying to get more information because it's ever evolving industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's such a fun industry though, because I feel like you have to love learning and wanting to constantly evolve not only your own brand, but everybody's brand that you work with, right? So I think that's a
100%.
lot of fun. Um, so
Sure.
yeah, the topic that we're covering today is ads that actually convert, right? So I thought that we can kind of start off with where you should spend your ad budget. So let's just talk platform basics. Max, where do you usually recommend home service businesses start? Meta or Google?
Mhm. So it's a great question. And typically, when the business owners, like the owners of the home services, the plumbing or HVAC companies or painting, they ask me this question. I always ask them like what results they want to achieve, like how many jobs they want to generate, because these are platforms are at some degree they're the same, but at some degree they're different. So that's why typically in a nutshell, I say that if you want to have more high intent leads, but you want to have less volume of leads, so probably you should go with Google Ads search campaigns. If you're looking to get more leads, you need more volume, cheaper leads. Maybe the intent of this list will be a little lower, but still you will get more volume of this leads. So probably you should go with the Facebook.
Mhm. What would you say is the biggest difference in the intent when someone clicks on a Google ad versus a Meta ad?
Yeah, so in Google, it's pretty much when we are looking for something. So in Google, if we're, I can also split it Google for two different platforms. So Google has the search campaigns and they have the display campaigns. So the search campaigns are campaigns where pretty much we have more higher intent leads, people who are actually searching for your product. So if it's the home service, let's say somebody's looking for the plumber. So I'm gonna put the plumber near me or drain cleaning near me or emergency water heater repair, something like that. So obviously, these leads are the highest intent. They're hot. They're ready to buy. They need service right away. So this is where we use Google search campaigns for that. Google display campaigns, it's very, very similar to the Facebook. This is where we target by interest. So people show the interest on like I'm interested in plumbing, not necessarily I'm right now looking for this kind of service, but I'm interested in this service. Uh,
Hmm.
and for Facebook, uh, what we're doing on Facebook or Instagram, right? So we're just probably scrolling the news feed or we are chatting with our friends. So we're not looking for some specific service. but we might be interested in the specific service. And I'm going to cover this later in our podcast, but the Facebook right now is very, very smart. So it's able to identify like in minutes if somebody actually search for plumbing service near me, the Facebook is able to identify this person as the person interested in plumbing services, and we can start showing them ads right away without any delays. So it's kind of nowadays all these platforms are very, very similar, and if in a nutshell, I typically recommend to combine them. So to
Mhm.
use both Google and Facebook if you want to get enhanced results.
Yeah, no, that's great. Um, kind of in the vein when we're talking about combining two different platforms comes budget, right? So how would you say budgets typically perform across, Meta and Google for service-based businesses? Do you feel like, do you need like a huge budget to kind of perform well on both of those, or, kind of walk me through that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Very often the business owners ask me, "Hey Max, what should we allocate for this kind of platform for the other?" So there is no rule of thumb here. It really kind of tailored for each business and industry. But I always say that the minimum that I recommend for you to start with Google, it's probably would be somewhere closer to 2K per month. Just to manage the expectation. Because of course we can start with $500, but in order for us to get some first feedback to see what ad creative works, what ad hypothesis, the interest, the demographics, to kind of collect this information, it will take us for a while, to get it. So the higher the budget, the better, specifically for the marketers, because we'll be able to sooner optimize. The same kind of for Facebook, but the Facebook is a little more agile. So there you can get the results sooner and with a lower spend. So for the Facebook, typically I say that the minimum I recommend is probably like 1 grand, maybe 1,500. So you can start with this budget and then you can scale based on the results.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. And with that, how long should someone be running ads before they expect to see results from that with that budget in mind?
Mhm. Um, I mean, the results can be if it's Google, right? If you're able to show your ad to the person who's actually looking, I don't know, for the AC repair service, and you show your ad and they kind of led the request, so you might even get the leads from the first like day.
Mhm.
And I had this situation where we started generating leads. Sometimes it takes a little longer because probably everyone heard about the learning cycles. So if it's the completely new account and we didn't run any ads in this specific account, so it might take like up to 7 days just to start delivering the impression because
Mhm.
the system kind of learns where we want to show the ads, who is our target audience. So we kind of give the direction, but the system needs time to learn.
Mhm.
So that's why typically I say that at least 7 days just to be on the safe side, but sometimes it can be even sooner. But if you want to see the real kind of quantifiable results, because it takes time, right? Yeah, if it's, let's say, if this is the estimate for the AC replacement. So we can schedule the estimate, right? But the estimate will be scheduled probably in 1 week or 2 weeks. So we need to wait until we see, okay, whether this estimate performed, whether we sold something from this estimate, what is the return on ad spend based on this lead specifically, and many other leads that we generated. So I recommend the business owners to keep in mind that in order for us to see some real results, we need a minimum like 30 days.
Mhm.
Or maybe even 60 days to see the results that we can rely on and that we can use for our data driven optimization
Mhm.
suggestions. But the
Yeah,
first list we'll get like probably in the first day or first 7 days. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I think when we're talking about measurable ROI, it takes that's going to take a little bit of time to really capture that ROI, right? So it's not going to be overnight. You'll understand completely what the ad is doing. But yeah, that's a great point to point out, is that you can get leads immediately when you turn on the ad, but you know what that actually means in the grand scheme of things is might be different. Um,
Absolutely. Because what really matters for business owners is not amount of leads, it's not amount of scheduled appointments, but the actual revenue that they generate. from
Absolutely.
these leads. And to generate revenue, we need some time, right, to show up. And the
Mhm.
other important thing, and maybe I'm going to cover this topic a little more, is about to providing access to the marketing agency to see these leads, to see the status for these leads, to see the revenue generated from these leads, because this is what gives us all this feedback, allowing us to optimize further and optimize more efficient.
Mhm. Yeah. Kind of talking with leads and, measuring your ROI and everything. I think one thing that we can all agree on is we hate spam. So spam calls are the worst. Spam emails are the worst. Spam leads, they kind of throw off your entire report. Um, what kind of ad formats actually filter for quality when we're looking at, creating a new ad?
Mhm. So first of all, of course, your message has to be direct. You have to outline what you're offering. You have to call out, preferably if you call out people who are looking for it. So let's say if you're looking for the homeowners, right? So you're putting, let's say, Chicago homeowners, right? So they understand, oh, it's me, it's me. And then you say, I don't know, is your AC struggling or something like that? So you call out these people. This is the first thing that will allow you to get more qualified leads. The second layer for that, this is where you land these leads. So we either land them to the website, to the landing page, or we put them into the internal forms, mainly for Facebook and Instagram, internal Facebook forms. So there you have to make sure that these forms clearly states why we are getting their contact information, what they're doing, like whether they're booking a free estimate or they're actually scheduling the diagnostic or something else. So we have to clearly state what is the next step. Plus, since for the last like probably year or two, since everyone started to do advertising online, pay-per-click advertising, uh, and at the same time we start getting more bots, more kind of spammy leads, right? And probably everyone is aware about that. But I recommend to increase the amount of qualified leads, to add more qualified questions, to kind of filter them. The tire kicker, sometimes the lead might be qualified, but they're not ready for your pricing. So you can put the question regarding like, what is your budget? And let's say if they answer that my budget is below, I don't know, 1K, and your typical service is like 2K and more. So you can actually filter this lead out and even do not allow them to submit the form. So it doesn't, go to your CRM. It doesn't, your team doesn't spend time to call them if they're already unqualified. And this is just an example on one question. So it can be any questions tailored to any business.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think just to kind of add to that is, when you're thinking about marketing, it's always so important to think about the end user. And in that, when you're looking at your own ad campaign, just ask yourself the simple question of, would I convert on this? Am I getting something out of this? I think that kind of transparency
Mhm.
is so important, especially if you're doing like a form or something. Like, why am I giving my information to you? Like, that's a very valuable kind of thing that I'm passing off to you. So offering something in value is something I think a lot of people just kind of overlook. Like, we think that we can just put a lead form up on a page and people will just convert on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
you want qualified people to convert on this, not just anybody, right? Um, so, kind of hand in hand with, we're talking about how leads convert on forms or on landing pages, um, kind of comes, the thing that they see initially. So like that creative and the copy, you know, um, what's your favorite offer or creative or graphic that's worked really well for HVAC or plumbing clients before that it always sticks in the back of your mind whenever you're working with them?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really good question, but probably I'm gonna take a little step back and just share my approach to the ad creatives, because there is no like a magic button or secret sauce in the ad creative. So if you're going to try this format, this will convert 100%, because every industry is different. I had a situation where in the downtown, this specific ad performed great, but when we advertised the same specific rate in the same state, but in the suburbs, it's just not performing because the people mindset in suburbs is a little different than people in the downtown, right? So
Mhm.
we have to keep in mind all these nuances, but typically we have to identify like at what stage, I call it awareness stage, the lead is. So, and I can actually share my screen really quick just to have something more visual because I like to share the visual. Uh,
When we're talking about the visuals, you want to show the visuals?
yeah. So, right. So the first thing that I wanted to show, this is the. Let me just remove this one here. So this is pretty much the awareness ladder or the customer journey stages, right? And depending on where the current customer is sitting, so we want to show them the correct ad. And let me just overview this really high level overview. So basically, we have a majority of people are not even aware about the problem. So there are 60% of people. So for this kind of people, we will need to create the ads. It doesn't make sense for them to show the testimonials in this or to show to show them before and after or something. Because at this stage, first we have them to show ads that actually help them to identify, oh, actually this is the problem. I might have this problem. And as an example, it can be with the something if I don't know if it's, let's say if this is the um, plumbing industry, right? And plumbers, the sewer companies, they like these excavation jobs where they replace the whole sewer line, right? And majority of people are not aware that the tree rods they can actually damage this line, and you don't even know that, but your line might be already damaged. And if you do not prevent like tree rods from growing and you will cut them from inside and order the small service that costs like $200, the drain cleaning or the sewer line cleaning, you might eventually pay like 20 grand to replace the whole sewer line. So the goal for this kind of ad will be just to highlight that homeowners, your sewer line might have this problem, and just to illustrate and show this problem, right? And to kind of put the seed of doubt, okay, I might have something like that. So maybe it makes sense for me, to call them and maybe order the inspection, just the camera inspection, just to see if everything is okay. The next step will be when they're already aware about the problem. So let's say if they do not convert for this ad, like more on the top of the funnel, right? So we go to the next step, the next type of ads where they're already aware about the problem. So now they're probably looking for the solution, and there are like from 20 to 37% of leads on this step. They're actually either looking for the solution or they're looking for the right company. They already know that these kind of companies can help. And at this stage, we want to show them the ads regarding the company, right? So this is the company that can resolve this issue. Show them I don't know, the dozen of testimonials of people who actually already did the service and they're saying, okay, these guys helped me to save like 20K because they recommended me to do this camera inspection. So this is the
Mhm.
next level. In case if sometimes it might happen that we need to show them ads that are kind of comparison us versus others, right? To show them that other companies probably gonna come out and I don't know, do the very basic camera inspection. They'll try to upsell you with the 20K SEO job. In our case, we use this professional equipment. We do the video recording. We give you the flash drive with the actual recording so you can see yourself and see the actual the SEO line from inside. So, and this can be the benefit. And it can be so many different points that you can put. So the goal is to show the potential buyer, potential client, that you are better than others. And then let's say if they do not convert on this step, right, but they already have the problem, so we either go to our goal is to move them to the stage where they're ready to buy now. And typically there are only 3% of people who are in the state that they're ready to place the request, they're ready to call. And so our goal is to move them from this to here and convert. And on the bottom of the funnel, where we have 3% of only people. So the goal is to give them something that will make them to convert. So as an example, it can be an offer. So $50 coupon for the camera inspection, or the free inspection with the repair, or it pretty much, or you can create urgency. Say you can also add a deadline. So we have the camera inspection instead of like $450, now we charge $250, and this promotion is valid by, I don't know, by the end of August, something like that. So for every stage, you have different ad creatives, different formats. But to answer, I just wanted to share this one so everyone understand, to be on the same page, that there is no like silver bullet, for ad creatives or for advertising overall. You have to test everything, but you should be aware about this awareness ladder to understand at what stage is your prospect to show them the right ad. But overall, in a nutshell, I like the ads that are the video ads. I don't like the ads that are very, very professional ads, because probably, I mean, me personally, I so tired from all of these ads all around the internet. Every day we are getting bombarded by so many different advertising, and so my rule of thumb is that the ad should not look like an ad. So you just have to create something that more, it's called kind of maybe the UGC, right? The user generated content, where just more basic. You don't need very professional equipment. Sometimes yes, you do, or you can combine it. But basically, just to show your ad not as an ad. And I actually have an example because I did run the campaigns for very large franchise, the home service franchise. This is the Resi Brands, and they have the under the umbrella they have the painters, that one painter, and they had the Pink Windows, the window clothing company. And I really like their approach to the ad creatives that will highlight my idea of making the ad not like an ad, but still to showcase your service or highlight something. And I'm just gonna share you. I'm just gonna share with you the couple of the videos so everyone understand like how it looks like. And by the way, this is the very good tool that that everyone who's listening to us can use to see the ads of their competitors. So it's called the Facebook ads library. So everyone has access to it. You don't need to have the special account or whatever. If you have the Facebook account, you can just type your competitor's name and see all of their ads. And this is one of the examples. Let me know if you can hear the sound.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Well, now that I got you, what if I told you there was a window cleaning company that actually cares about you?
And how cool would it be if getting a free estimate was as easy as clicking the link below?
And what if that company's sole purpose was to guarantee your satisfaction?
Yeah, it would be pretty cool if there was a cleaning company like that.
Oh well.
That's it. So, very funny, very simple.
Yeah.
Or the other one. So where they compare them with their competitors. I guess this is this one.
Some people hire window cleaners based on price alone. Let's just say you get what you pay for.
I think marketing just needs to be fun. I mean, people want to feel that feeling of
And this really worked great for them. So my advice for everyone is just to think about the advertising is it's kind of to be very native, right? So if somebody is especially in social medias or in YouTube, they're watching the videos. So the advertising that you show them should be kind of very similar to what they're watching. And this is exactly the example how it should look like.
Yeah. I really like those ideas. And I like too that you showed the funnel too, because I think that sometimes it's really easy to just be like, I just need to run ads and get leads in the door. That's it. But really, you do need to look at the full inbound marketing strategy, bringing leads in from all different stages and then nurturing them through the stages to get not only just like a high value customer, but a customer for life as well, right? Someone who learned everything that they learned about the issue that they're having from you and converted all the way through, who's going to refer you business. And if you do that for all of your leads that you're bringing in, like that just makes such a difference when you're marketing. And that's something you need to keep in mind when you're running ads. Is it's not just ads. Also need, campaigns like email campaigns, and you also need to be thinking about, your general social media, and the entire brand in general needs to kind of work all together, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the current industry, the marketing industry, is not the same as it was like 20 years ago, right?
Mhm.
20 years ago, you can just start running the Google ads and you're already getting like dozens of leads. There is no competition. So right now, everyone is doing the Google ads, everyone is doing the Facebook, but this is where pretty much the whole clients are sitting, right? They're either Googling something on the internet, or they're sitting in the social medias, the Facebook, the Instagram, or LinkedIn ads, or
Mhm.
the TikTok ads, depending on the industry.
Yeah. I
So,
like
yep.
I liked that you showed those examples too, because I think being aware of the platforms that you're advertising on is really important. Like, I agree with that completely. Of your ad needs to look like everything else that they're scrolling through. If you're just, going through reels on Instagram or Facebook, because you're going to sit there and watch it and then not even realize that it's a sponsored post that you're watching, right? Um,
Exactly. And
yeah.
so the other thing that I want to highlight, because probably everyone starts seeing these AI videos
Mhm.
all around the internet. They're kind of flooded the internet because you can easily make them through the VO3 or any other AI video generators. So at first point, and I actually tried that as well. At first point, it worked very well because you can create pretty much whatever you want. Something shocking, right? The video of I don't know, the plumber flying above the
Mhm.
house, and kind of something crazy, right? But now I see that. Actually, it was very, very quick, but people started to get tired from these videos because
Yeah.
they see that they're not genuine, they see that they're not unique. So that's why I have a feeling that it will maybe the combination of the unique videos
Mhm.
with the AI for some kind of scenes, or the B-roll or the background videos will work. But yeah, this is what I just wanted to share about the current trend for the AI videos.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, keeping in mind your target audience is really important too, because just some audiences will enjoy like an AI video, or some target audiences will not. And so I think that's also important to kind of keep in mind. I personally am of the mindset of, unique content like what you had shown us, that's always going to resonate well, and it's going to resonate well for a longer period of time than, something that you generate with AI. Not to say that, like, I think that AI is really fun, and I think that it's not going anywhere, so you might as well use it when you can. But if you have like everybody out on a job site, why not film 2 or 3 quick, really fast videos that you can not only post on your social media, but then also use that within your ads. Um, yeah, that's great. And, I guess kind of with the creative, kind of process with ads, kind of comes the messaging and that copy. So, you know, setting up those, like the call to action, for example, like what kind of setups there would you recommend? I know that, each company is going to be different for what
Yes.
you would recommend, but in general, do you have like any, call to actions that work really well? Any copy that works really well? What would you kind of suggest people start
Mhm.
with?
So I would say that the marketing is all about testing.
Mhm.
So of course you have to have the call to action. So without the call to action, they will be confused. Like, what is the next step? And confused mind always says no. So they have to understand. Okay, so you kind of as imagine that your kind of prospect or whatever. Imagine them as a child, right? So you have to show them the direction. Okay, so this is the next step. You have to fill out this form. So what I will get from this form, you will get this, and that. Then once they submit the form, we have a thank you page where we say, okay, so this is what you have to expect. We'll give you a call in 15 minutes. We'll schedule appointment. We'll show up and so on. But overall, about the ad copies and about call to actions, I like to keep the strategy where we test. And thanks God, like with all of these platforms, they have so many different A/B testing tools that allows
Mhm.
us to. So typically, when I started a campaign in Facebook or Google, I add at least like 10 different headlines. I add 5 to 10 different descriptions. I test 2, 3 different call to actions, because you never know. Every video, every description, every call to action, every subtitle can give different results, and even combination of them can give different results. And the current social medias and the advertising platforms actually have a very good optimizing strategies, because they have all these data billing points. So they help us, the marketers, to see like what specific headline performed better with which specific the photo or the video, in what placement. And this is where the marketers, this is the bread and butter of marketers. Because to be honest, like I mean, recently it's so easy to launch the first ad. There is no problem to launch, just to go there, to do broad targeting, right? To upload your photo and just do any ad copy, especially if you use the ChatGPT, you can create something like that. But where there are a lot of pitfalls after that. So, okay, you start showing your ads, but it doesn't mean that it will convert. Even if it will convert, you'll at some point you will hit the ad fatigue. So this ad will not be enough. So you should be constantly thinking about the next steps. You should also, this is what we marketers do. We analyze the data every day. We see, okay, so this is specific headline that performed great for this placement in the Facebook feed or something. So for this specific age and this gender, but this headline didn't perform well, so let's remove it. Let's test the other thing. So this is the constant test process. So to answer your question, just it's all about testing. So I like to test different formats. Sometimes I like to do the short ad copies, like just one sentence. Sometimes I like to do the whole kind of the whole book, the whole funnel in one message. And this is actually the strategy of Savri. I have a book, his book there. So basically, in your description, you describe the whole pain points, the solutions, the reason to work with you, the testimonials, the next steps, what they should expect. And every industry is different, but I would just suggest to test it.
Yeah. You kind of have to see what works well with the audience that you're already in front of, for sure. But that's why it's so great working with, like, just genuinely, it's great working with an agency, because you are able to just kind of hand that off to professionals to kind of deal with, and you don't have to keep an eye on it every single day, and be testing things out and working things out through that. Like, let the nerds over here do that for you.
Exactly.
So I kind of want to, reaching the end here, I want to talk war stories. So can you share a campaign that just totally flopped, that just didn't work, and why, and what did you learn from that, and what do you kind of take into account when you're looking at ads now?
Okay, that's a good question. So I mean, I'm the perfectionist, so it's really hard to say about where you lost or something. But so overall, I would say that this is the why the people hire marketers. So we try to make decisions as soon as possible without waiting until we hit the troubles or something. But I actually have the one story to share. This is the combination of what I learned and the advice also for the business owners for the future. So this was one HVAC company here in Chicago. So we did set up ads for them, and the whole communication was the business owner. So we did set up both Facebook and Google ads. So they had around like 5K ad spend budget, and we started running ads. And typically we every week, especially for the first months, we get the feedback from the business owner or the person who kind of communicate with us. And the feedback was from the business owner, everything is great. We have so many leads. We're happy. And we kind of asked him, okay, so do you have more information, like what's qualified, what's not qualified? He just saying, okay, everything is great. We're happy. And by that time, we didn't have any integrations. We didn't have any CRM to track the quality of the leads. And basically what happened on our monthly call, when we had a call with the business owner, and also we asked to call the office manager. because we wanted to hear which leads are qualified, which are not, so we can create a strategy optimization for the next months. And it was the huge failure when she said that they didn't get any of the lead. So and we were shocked. Like I was shocked, the business owner was shocked. So we started to dive deep into the problem and what happened. So the office manager, she was thinking that the email notifications regarding the lead contact information, that was spam, and because they were getting the same leads that they need to purchase from these marketplaces as Angie's, Thumbtack, but they need to purchase these leads. So they were not calling these leads. And the business owner didn't tell them about that, and we didn't have access to the CRM to see the disqualified leads, who's qualified, who's not. So so I learned my homework, and so all projects that we do, right now we start by, okay, we need to get access to see all of the leads. So we need to see which lead, the stage for the lead, which are qualified, which one is not, because this will allow us to get the feedback right away. And if there is a problem or a miscommunication or something, we will see from the day number one. So I would say this is the story that I wanted to share. But yeah, we'll learn on our lessons. We're not perfect.
For sure. I feel like a lot of times it is just like a miscommunication, and that's why it's so important to have a really seamless, open dialogue between marketing and sales. I've seen that before where the salespeople just didn't call leads because the area code was different from the one that is the area that we were targeting. And I was like, that doesn't mean that they're not there. Like, because like as someone, I have a Idaho area code, but I live in Washington. And so it was like, if I converted on something, but then you didn't call me for like something area specific just because of my area code, you missed out on me as a lead, you know? So it's so important to like have that open dialogue with sales and just be like, you know, if they're not sure about something, just ask and let's walk through it together and let's really fix that issue and get those leads converted, right?
Exactly. And for some reason, there is a misconception in between among the business owners. So if they hire the marketing team, it means that they will generate sales. But this is incorrect because there are three main things here. The marketing, this is the first part of the funnel. So we generate leads. Our goal is to make sure that we generate qualified leads. And then after that, these leads get transferred to the scheduling department, right? So next, which doesn't depend from us, like, do they call fast? Do they do the follow-ups? Do they treat them as a market leads or the referrals? Because with the referrals, if they miss the call, they know that the referral will give them a call back to schedule. With market leads, if they miss the call or they didn't call them within 15 minutes, there is a high possibility that this lead is already looking for other company and the other company will call them right away and already lost the opportunity. But this is not everything, because let's say if we generated the qualified lead, the scheduling department booked the lead, the next step is to sell to this lead. So they have their internal procedures for the sales. They need to make sure that they build this report, they sell for the good amount of money, right? Because sometimes you might make a lot of sales, but it's not profitable for you. So that's why I always tell the business owners and everyone, so when we start doing advertising, we're all an integral part of the whole process. And we're in one boat. So we have to help each other. And we should, so as a marketers, right, our goal, and this is kind of what comes from the first lesson, our goal is to make sure that these leads get delivered. And we are able to see them and we get the feedback from business owners, because without the feedback, it's really, really hard for us to optimize without having an idea. Because from the marketing perspective, we can see, okay, so we generated so many leads, the cost per lead is good. We see them, we pull them on the qualified status, right? But maybe the feedback from the business owner is that, okay, so these leads are good, but they're buying the cheap products. They're buying the cheap services. So let's focus more on the offers that give us more like high ticket leads. And this is completely different strategy, but without the feedback from the business owner, we wouldn't know about that. So that's why we're all in one boat. So we have to share all of this. And there is no one in the business who knows better business than the business owner, right? Or the managing team. So that's why we all have to share this feedback, share all of the information. This is the only way to have the successful marketing campaigns and successful growth for the business of our client.
Right. I think it kind of goes back to the inbound marketing funnel, right? Of
Yeah.
there's all of these, cogs in the machine to get leads into the door, but that's just one part of the full business model, right? Is just marketing, but you have to push that into sales and retention and all of the things that go into having a business. So I think that that's a great, point, is you have to be communicating with your marketing team just as much as your sales team and your entire process. Um,
Yes.
so let's redeem ourselves, right? So what's an ad that like absolutely crushed it, and what do you think really made it work?
I mean, almost every ad that we run is crushing, given the good results at some certain point once we get the feedback.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I can share a couple stories. So I did run ads for the Lyft, the ride-sharing app. So it was in like the 3 months, we were able to generate over 25,000 leads for them for 60 cents per download and $1.50 per one ride. So it was very great results, and we used only the Google Ads for that. Uh, so the another story, this is I mean, we can use this painting franchise, that one painter, right? So we were generating, because this is the very good thing. So we were able to see the actual revenue and the channel for this revenue for every lead that we generate. So we were generating over $600,000 for over 20 franchisors every month.
Mhm.
So which is very great. They were extremely happy. And the good thing for us is that we were able to track, we can see this data. So yeah, this is also, I mean, there are so many different good stories and good results, but when this results kind of combination of our work, the work of the client, the work of the business owner, their sales team. So when it's combined, this is what actually brings the very good results. Only marketing probably will not do the job. So this is to manage expectations.
Yeah, that's great. So just to kind of wrap things up, Max, what would be one piece of advice that you'd give home service businesses running ads? What would that advice be to them?
So first of all, don't be afraid to run ads, because people sometimes they had a bad experience before, so that's why they decided it's taboo. I'm not gonna run ads anymore. Let's try to be a little more open mind. You just have to have the right marketer to run the ads. So don't be afraid to run ads. The second thing is make sure that you do tests. So one ad and one audience probably will not make the work. It will not bring you the good results. So make sure that you test, you constantly test, or at least if you hire the team, make sure that they do all of these tests and get the feedback from them.
Yeah.
Get the results. Okay, so we did this test, we get this result in this month. Nice. So this is the next test for the next month. And then probably the third one is the communication. Communicate to your marketers. Give this feedback, because we already learned from our lessons, right? So it's very, very important. So give the feedback. Try to give as much feedback as possible, because this is what will, at the end of the day, will bring money to your account. So and if you want to get the same results, like for every dollar that you spend, you get like $7, $10, $15 back. It has to be kind of this comprehensive approach where everyone is involved.
Yeah. I think just to add to that too is to track your real conversions, not just your clicks, right? So I think it's so easy to look at just a broad report that says X amount of people landed on my landing page, but what does that actually mean for your business, right? Like how many sales came in from that? What did you make off of this? Because I feel like that is also another thing that people kind of, miss when they're doing things on their own. And I agree completely. Like, don't be afraid to run ads, and, just to do a shameless plug is, hire an agency that's able to help you with that anxiety, right? Like, you don't have to be doing the A/B testing. Have somebody who knows what they're looking at, look at it for you and explain the whole entire process to you. And, with that comes a whole melding of the cogs that work on the machine for your business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's a good
great.
point. Measure every step of the funnel, measure in the final numbers at first place. So you have to measure the revenue generated from these ads. This is very good
Yeah,
point.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. So hopefully it was helpful. But we all know that just listening is not enough. We have to make the actionable steps. So that's why I'm pretty sure you probably heard some good advice and golden nuggets that you can implement right away. So if you want to move the needle and actually see the results, just try to implement something as soon as possible, or at least delegate to your team to try something out what you heard in this podcast. And feel free to share any feedback or any comments, because we're always happy to see this feedback. We're always happy to see something that we can share. And yeah, I'm happy to share more. And in the next podcast and the next episodes, I will share even more knowledge, more practical advice that we can implement right away.
Max, thank you so much for sharing your just wealth of knowledge. It was so incredible. And thank you everybody who tuned in. If you found this helpful, follow us for more tips on how to market smarter and grow your business without wasting your ad budget. But with that, we'll go ahead and see you next month.